Hey, and what is going on, everybody? It's Scion Life back here with another video, and today we are going to be talking about 5 overrated JDM cars. And now, before I get into this video, I just want to apologize. I haven't uploaded in a couple weeks. I've just been starting back at my university, and I've been kind of getting back into the flow of my classes and whatnot. So, the schedule from here on out, I'll probably be posting somewhere around 2 to 3 times a week. And, I hope just to continue growth. If I do continue to grow, I may push that up to 4 or 5 times a week. But for now, I really got to focus on school, get my degree, all that good stuff. So we're just going to be doing 2 to 3 times a week for the foreseeable future. And now for the video, I just want to point out that the cars I'm going to list in this video, they aren't bad. They're just really overpriced and slash or overhyped everywhere you go. So either I think that the prices are too high for these cars, or that there's just way too much coverage when there are other cars out there that probably deserve it a little bit more. And now, like I just said, there are plenty of JDM cars out there that are better than these that I'm about to list for a less expensive price. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. And for the first car that we're going to be talking about on this list, all you guys knew that it was going to be on here, and it is the Mach 4 Supra. Now, not only do you see this car everywhere on the internet, but you also see them at a bunch of car shows, especially if you live in a city. And I feel like the crowds, especially the younger crowds, at car shows and on the internet, Instagram, TikTok, that kind of thing, they all flock to the Mach 4 Supra. Now, this car it comes with the legendary 2JZ motor and the turbo models, the turbo 2JZ models that can handle up to somewhere in the ballpark of 800 to maybe 1,000 wheel horsepower. And, that's really good. Like, this is a great 90s JDM classic, and it's deserved its reputation that it's a great car with a very buildable motor. But the problem with it is there's been so much hype around it, and I feel like anytime you get onto Instagram or go to a car meet, like I said, every young person, this is all that they know, and this is all that they ever talk about. And so all of the hype around the Mach 4 Supra has driven up prices in recent years, and you really can't find one for under $50,000 or $60,000. And I can think of a lot of cars that I would want over a Mach 4 Supra for half the price that you could buy a clean one for. And so, that's just why I think this car is overhyped and overpriced. It's everywhere. Like, you see it everywhere. It's on every Instagram page. It's every post on TikTok. It's annoying. Like, I'm tired of seeing it. Like, I want to see something new. And now, moving away from the Mach 4 Supra cult, we're going to be talking about the FD-RX-7. Now, the FD-RX-7, in my opinion, is a really great car. And just like the Supra, it's a JDM classic. Whenever it came out, it was really popular in Japan, and over time it's become more popular in places like the US. But, with the car, you do get a Dorito motor. It's not exactly the most reliable thing in the world. And in recent years, the prices for these FD-RX-7s have absolutely skyrocketed. It is so hard to find one in an attainable price range today. It doesn't even do all that much in terms of horsepower numbers and engine buildability. And, this car is not reliable. It's a rotary. It has a Dorito motor. Obviously, it's not going to be reliable. But the prices are not indicative of that. Unlike with like the FC RX-7 or even the RX-8, they're not the most reliable cars in the world, but they're very popular JDM cars, and they are in a very attainable price range. But if you go onto Car Gurus or Auto Tempest or anything like that, and you go on and you look for FD-RX-7s, I mean, it is just meteoric prices. Like, they have skyrocketed so much in recent years. And there's really no reason for it. Like, you have to dump so much money into the car to get it to be fast. I just don't really see the hype in it for the price that it is. And now, it does sound good. I do like the car, like I said earlier, just not at the price point it's at right now. And now for the next car on this list, we have the legendary RB26 Paul Walker Special pop the hood, yo, I almost had you, R34 GTR. And just like with the Mach 4 Supra, the R34 GTR suffers from the same fan base that just idolizes this car above everything else. Recently, I saw a video on Instagram that was circulating around where it was a modded R34 GTR and it beat a Bugatti Veyron, and I think it was like a half-mile race. But the GTR was built for a drag setup. It had a fully built motor. It was making like 1200 something horsepower, and the Veyron was stock. The guy had a terrible launch off the line, and he was not even using launch control. And it was still close. The Veyron was catching on it in the end. Now, is that to take away from that guy's car or the GTR's capability? No. But, the kids on Instagram, on TikTok, at car shows have made this out to be some kind of just absolute godlike car that only, real super rich car people can ever have. And, the GTR has earned its name of being Godzilla, and this is the rendition of it from the R32 generation. But I don't see the hype in it. It's just way oversaturated in the current market, on the internet, at car shows, and at the price point it's at. I think some of these are going for like 200 something thousand dollars. Like, that is ridiculous. You can buy a Lamborghini Huracan almost brand new for that price point. Like, it's just not worth it. It's not worth the price. It's not worth the hype that's been built around it. It is a great car. It's just not worth the money. And now for the fourth car on this list. All of you anime boys are going to be really pissed off about this one, but it is the AE86 Corolla. And recently, every time a new Initial D season comes out, and there hasn't been one for a while now, and so the prices have kind of settled around $30,000 or so for a clean one. But back in the day, early 2000s, mid 2000s, this wasn't a great car. Even when this car came out, there were better cars at its price point that did what the AE86 Corolla was marketed to do, and it did it better. The cars did it better. But every time a new season of Initial D came out, the prices would go up, and then every time that season ended, the prices would go back down. The demand for the car would go back down. But recently, Initial D has kind of caught some more traction in the younger generations who are just now coming up and finding out about the anime. And so now that they're watching it, the prices are starting to go up, the hype around the car is starting to go up because it's just some epic AE86 drift missile Takumi White Kamen of Akina. The car is not worth $30,000. The car's not even worth $10,000. I don't know how anybody in their right mind would pay that much money for this car. I understand it is cool and it's the car from the anime. That does add a lot of value to it, but does it add $30,000 worth of value for a Toyota Corolla? Absolutely not. I don't think this car is worth, anything when it is right now. I don't think it's worth the hype. It is a great car. It's good for drifting, but like I said, there are so many cars for a cheaper price or at the same price that do what the AE86 does, but better. So at this point, really, you're just paying for nostalgia. And now for the fifth and final car on this list. This one's kind of conditional because it hasn't been exempted from the law yet to be imported into the United States, and it's going to be the Nissan S15 Silvia. Now, I do think this is a great looking car. Honestly, I love this car and I would love to have one someday. I just really like it. I don't know why. I love the look of it. I love the motor that's in it. I love all the feeling around it. I watch videos of people driving it. It seems like a really fun car. But since they're not readily available in the United States, it's really driven up the prices of those that have been imported by those businesses that import limited or illegal cars into the U.S. And so the prices are way higher. They're probably triple or quadruple what they really should be. You rarely see these, and it's not like this is a car like the GTR or the Supra that I mentioned earlier, where it's all over every 12-year-old kid's Instagram fan page for cars. It flies more under the radar. It's just it's priced so high that it's not even worth getting it right now. You might as well wait until the 25-year mark hits in the United States, and then we can start importing them legally. And so that's really the only reason it's on the list. It's just overpriced right now. And so the hype around these cars, with the exception of the S15, has really been brought from the Fast and Furious franchise and from Initial D. Now, over time, as Initial D gets older and more people watch it, and Fast and Furious kind of starts to die off whenever they decide to stop making movies, which they really should, but I feel like these prices, they could go down. They may go up. I mean, I have no idea where it's going to go, but where it stands right now, these were the 5 most overrated JDM cars in the market. And so, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like, and if you did enjoy the video, please consider subscribing and following along for more content like this. But for now, this is Scion Life, signing out.